Hey y'all, it's Nisi, and I thank you so much that you are joining us as we walk through this summer siesta study of Gideon. The page has been pretty silent, but that's okay. I know some of us are working through it, and so I am just grateful for you. If you haven't jumped in, know that it's not too late to just jump right in. So, you've probably been seeing me and Nicole talk on the group a little bit, and this is a fabulous study. It's amazing, and I have notes upon notes upon notes of things. But tonight, when I was thinking about what I wanted to talk about in a video, I wanted to take it back to the first session with Priscilla because there was something there that I've been praying about and that caused some question in me over the past week. So she's giving the background of Gideon's story, starting in the book of Judges. And she gets to a point where she's talking about how the Israelites were not living up to the promises that God had made to them. In fact, they were living defeated. And so fast forward, you have to go watch the video if you want to get caught up on all that. But fast forward, and she goes to the scripture, Judges chapter 2, verse 10. And it says, after that whole generation had been gathered to their fathers, another generation grew up, who knew neither the Lord nor what he had done for Israel. And that message stuck out for me because Priscilla then goes on to talk about how the next generation of Israelites, they didn't know the Lord. They didn't know what God had brought their people through. They didn't know about him bringing them through the wilderness and parting the Red Sea and feeding them manna. And they didn't know what God had done. And so that really stuck out for me. And so it was talking about how they were living in such captivity and they were living in such devastation and defeat because they didn't realize what God had done for their parents. And so Priscilla challenges us because she says something happened there. Either their parents didn't do the teaching or they weren't willing to learn. And she brought up the example that I'm sure many of you have known, especially if you were raised in like a Baptist church or something like that. Oh, I was drugged to church. I was drugged to Sunday school. I was drugged to church. I was drugged to Baptist training union. I was drugged to evening service. I spent all day in church. I was drugged to Vacation Bible School. And Priscilla talks about how she was so grateful that her parents drug her to church because she was having a seed planted in her. I have been having to pray about this lesson all week because I am going through a difficult period of being so put out with religion. My relationship with God means more. It's invaluable. It is priceless. And as you can see by the study, I mean, I'm committed to fostering that relationship and working on that relationship daily. But church folk, religiosity, I'm okay with it. I haven't been to church in probably a month, which means my child hasn't been to church in a month. So does that mean I'm being a bad mother? Does that mean that I'm not setting my son up? I'm not setting the next generation up to know who the Lord is and to know what God is doing in our lives and what he's brought us through and who he is. That one message has been screaming at me all week because I don't know. And I just have to pray about it because one thing I do know, I love the Lord and I want my child to have a zest and a zeal and an on fire passion for the Lord. I just don't know if he's going to get that by sitting in a church pew every Sunday. I'm not sure that I got that from sitting in a church pew every Sunday. So I struggle with that notion. Yes, I believe it's vital that our next generation have an understanding and a knowledge of who God is. But I'm not sure of how that comes to my child. Do you have any feedback? What is your experience? How are you dealing with raising the next generation? How do you feel about relationship versus religion and church and churchy folk? Because I just really am not about that life right now. My prayers to you. I'm sure I'll have many, many more comments. I have so many notes. I just don't know where to start. So this was a very transparent moment for me. Love you. And I hope you guys will jump right in. Okay, bye.